Hello everyone and welcome to another Draw Steel video. Today I've got something special for you. My Friday night Draw Steel group for our Shadows over Bedegar campaign agreed to record our montage test. Now the last video that I put out was us actually creating that montage test, and I said that this week, the day that this is coming out, I would have a recap of what happened and the things that I thought went poorly and the things that I thought went well and so on and so forth. And as a special treat, you are all going to get to witness the montage test almost in its entirety. I did cut out a couple of bits and pieces. You know, there were some questions, some crosstalk, and so on. But for the most part, this is a fairly uncut sample. As I started editing the footage, it was just our group is so entertaining, and I get a kick out of them. And I didn't really want to cut out a lot of the humor that kind of crops up in the middle of these sorts of things. So this is going to be a significantly longer video than I tend to put out. If all you care about is hearing how things went at the end, you can check there'll be a timestamp in the description. But I highly encourage, if you're interested in seeing what a montage test looks like, to check out the whole thing. If not, I will see you at the end. Oh, just one more thing before we get started. The audio is a little funky in places. I was recording my own audio through my microphone and then my computer's audio through Discord. I did not have individual tracks for all of my players, so trying to balance the audio is particularly tough. I've got a few things if I do this again that I can change for next time to hopefully make that a little easier on the ears. But I also apologize. You know, we're not voice actors. We're not any of that. We're just a group of friends. So at times you'll hear life going on in the background, and you'll hear Discord notification pings. We tend to use a lot of GIFs when we're playing. So most of the Discord notification pings are things like that. So I apologize. You may think you're getting a notification or two as you watch the rest of this video. And there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I took out a few of them, but I'm sure I missed more. So anyways, back to the show. All right. Um, so you've done a little bit of reconnaissance, and when are you going to try to do this? During the day, during the night, roughly what time of day? Because that will change how we tackle some of the events in the montage test.
So our whole goal is not to be seen, right? Not to be seen, not to be noticed. Do this whole thing, get out without being seen. They died. That's the end of it.
Right.
Uh for terms of sneaking in, Arkie, do you have a suggestion as our person for this?
Under cover of night.
Hey,
Fair
to be
enough.
expected.
That is the obvious choice. All right, so here's how montage tests work. This is the first one that we're going to be running in Draw Steel. Each montage test is run in 2 rounds. In a round, your characters can have either an action in which you can make a test, or you can assist in a test. Um, Obviously, there are benefits to doing both. The just performing an action by yourself, if that's what you choose to do, gives you more opportunities to succeed and potentially get through this thing faster. It also means that you might not be rolling with the best opportunities. So there is that to be wary of. This is a hard montage test. Understandably so. You're breaking into a keep to steal a person and leave another person behind dead in their place. So the way hard montage tests work are for a party of 5, which we are not. It would be well. Let me explain it this way. For a montage test, there are 3 basic outcomes. You can either have a total success, a partial success, or a total failure. For a total success, you have to meet the success limit before you meet the failure limit and before the time runs out. So in other words, if both rounds finish and you have not had or not reached the success limit after 2 rounds, you cannot have a total success. If you reach the success limits before either of those things occur, then the montage ends and you are completely successful, which would be wonderful and perhaps a little anticlimactic. Same thing goes for a failure limit. If you reach the failure limit before the time runs out, or before you reach the success limit, then you have a total failure. And in all likelihood, we're ending up in combat, which I'm mostly ready for. Partial success is where things get a little
Appreciate
trickier.
your I appreciate your confidence.
Yes, yes. I assumed that you're going to hit a partial success because you are all smart and your characters are heroes. But I'm somewhat ready for a total failure if that ends up
Interesting. I didn't
happening.
see flattery on the interpersonal skill list.
Ah, indeed, indeed.
Mm.
So a partial success is the one that requires a little more explanation. If you have not hit the success limit or the failure limit by the time the rounds are over, then there's a chance that you can have a partial success. In order to have a partial success, I believe you need to have 2 more successes than you have failures at a minimum. So in this party's case, as a uh, as a party of 7, the success limit is a 9 and the failure limit is a 5. So if you have an 8, if you have 8 successes by the time the second round ends and only 3 failures, then you will have a partial success. Or 8 in this case, if you've got 4 failures, haven't quite hit the 5 limit, and 6 successes, then that's a partial success. Um, Now, obviously, with there being 7 of you and 2 rounds, that's a maximum of 14 different tasks that can be completed. So, if you go through and each of you does your own task and never assists on anyone else's, then there's no chance of having a partial success because you're going to hit either one of these limits before you get through to the end of the second round, which is fun. So, what this essentially means is you are encouraged to assist each other. You only need 9 successes. That could be, 5 tests in one round, 4 tests in another. So there's room to assist each other on these tests. Further, what that means is we've got a lot of different possibilities in the tasks that you are attempting to do as you try to get to the spy. So, the first 7 tests are going to be getting to the spy. And assuming you can do that successfully, then everything after that will be, the exit strategy. And depending on how many failures you have, the exit strategy might change a little bit. I have come up with a list of 7 challenges that I think are reasonable and interesting to see the party face as you approach the spy's chambers. However, I also am going to encourage you all to approach this as fellow writers in this story. If you think that some of these challenges are less good than others, I would agree with you. It's difficult to come up with 7 challenges, and especially in the back half. So, if you think, oh, you know what, it'd be really cool. I've got this skill that isn't really covered in any of these challenges. And hey, it'd be really neat if we came across this scenario where that would be useful. Speak up, because we can absolutely do that. All of the individual tasks that you guys face tonight are going to be of varying difficulty levels. Some of them might be easy tests. Some of them might be medium tests. Some of them might be hard tests. I'd really like to see how you approach using, for example, the timescape skill in this montage test. If you use the timescape skill, it's probably going to be a hard test.
I mean, our goal is just a manifold away, right?
Yes, very much so.
I suppose.
One manifold shift and then another.
Wasn't that a
and
hit
hey, you're
song
in
a
the right
couple years
place.
ago?
One manifold
Just
away.
manifold away.
Yeah. So that is how montage tests work. Does anyone have any questions before we get started?
So on my end.
Okay.
And to assist people, it's just also using a skill, but in a
Correct.
different way.
We're using the standard assisting rules. You have to be using a different skill than the person you are assisting. The assisting role comes first, and then comes the role that is being assisted. So, if Tipperol is assisting Malgus in something, Tipperol rolls for his assist. We see how the result comes out, and then that bonus, if there is one, is applied to Malgus's roll. So yeah.
Well,
I
I
think-
have a question.
Yeah.
It might be looking forward a bit too far, but supposing everything works out
Yes.
and I am the replacement.
Yes.
For
If you have
the
if the party has a total
would-
success
Mhm.
through and through, if the party has a total success, then all the stuff surrounding your crazy plan of dying and getting put somewhere, and then when you become no longer inert, that's just gonna work because it's such a good plan.
Okay.
I'm not gonna make you do
Is-
something for it.
Okay, yeah, I was interested how if well, to me it seems that I wouldn't be able to participate in the exit strategy, I guess.
So the first round ends when you get to the spy. The second round begins theoretically before you decoy up and set up the suicide. So
do all that.
the first
like a
you
relay race.
probably should take the first task in the second round.
Right.
In other words,
Yes.
because otherwise
Yeah, okay,
you're going to be dead.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to
Sense
confirm.
for you to
No,
do
that was a good thought.
anyway.
That was a very
A
good
little
thought.
busy.
But yeah, I did think of that as well. So
From
Okay,
beyond the grave,
yeah,
but more so than usual.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If there are no
As
other,
one
Yeah.
other
I
question.
will. Yeah, mine's not a question. Just go ahead. Go ahead, Aaron. If you got a question.
So if we have a ability that we
Mhm.
could use, not a test, how would that be adjudicated?
Yeah, that's
if
kinda where
yeah,
I'm
that's a good question as well. Like Malgus, I know you've got the ability to just walk through walls or make holes through walls. If you use some ability like that, that counts as having done a test and getting a success. But that would count as your one action for that round. You can absolutely do. It's kind of a case by case thing. But for the most part, if you've got an ability that is 100% going to be useful in a situation, then you may use that ability. That's absolutely good.
Wonderful.
Right, and then I want to put this out there beforehand. So I have the Ritualist perk. I can spend 1 minute performing a magic ritual of a blessing. At the end of the ritual, I touch one willing creature, including myself. The creature gains double edge on the next test they make within the next minute. The
Oh.
creature can't use this benefit on an activity that takes longer than a minute. So just keep that in mind. I can do that.
Yeah, so like if you guys, the first thing on the list is a locked door. You guys don't have to do these in order as well. These are just a list of here's things. However you want to tackle these, whatever, if you want to tackle half of them and not the other half, whatever. You can do that in any order you like or throw in your own. But for some things like a locked door that's not going to take very long, Malgus, you can use your Ritualist to give someone that sort of edge.
Okay. And then the only other question, are hero tokens something that can be spent during a
100%.
montage?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have
we
been-
are
we
using the
using
updated
the-
rules
yeah.
and not the original rules. So a hero token is not an automatic success because that would be super unfun.
Mhm.
You can spend your hero token to get a reroll.
Okay.
Yeah. And as a party of 7, you got 7 of those. So make absolute use of those. Just be aware if you use all 7 and we end up in combat and you have no hero tokens, you may be sad. So we will see how that goes. Any other questions?
I think I'm good.
I think we're
Could
good.
I use my team leader perk?
What does your team leader perk do?
At the start of a group or montage test, I can spend a hero token, and then if we do, everyone has all participants make tests as if they also had your exploration skills.
Ooh.
Oh.
So
Sure.
the question is, do you think your exploration skills are going to be more useful to the rest of the group than having a one potential reroll? In some montage
what do you
tests, it
got?
absolutely would be.
Maybe.
In some montage tests, it might not be. But that's the question for you to decide.
I've got climb, endurance, gymnastics, and navigate.
Oof.
Navigate.
One of those
actually
is an
do
exact
something
Navigate right
useful.
there.
One of those, you are correct. One of those is an exact thing. Yes.
That's a good spread of skills, honestly.
That's a solid set. You can do some clever things with that.
Yeah, because climb might be a good option in there
Mhm.
as well.
Absolutely.
And just if you guys don't have as many
I
Yes.
have no
know.
exploration skills, so that would round me out quite nicely.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
none.
Yep.
I have one, and it's endurance.
It,
that I
it
don't
sounds
think
like
is
the
gonna
party wants
That
to
be-
spend a hero
gives us,
token for this.
yeah,
I would
that
like
gives
to
us
I like
more
this
options
idea.
to assist as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
Mhm.
I will. I
put
will
them in chat.
subtract a hero token. And
Dun, dun,
yeah,
dun.
go ahead and put the 4 or 5 or however many you have in chat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Climb, endurance, gymnastics,
Cool.
navigate. Awesome, awesome.
It's nice.
And the way I'll do
I'll
this.
point out another thing. While working according to my plans, all of my allies gain an edge on tests with any skill from the intrigue skill group.
Ooh.
Quick aside.
And I can use
Oh,
the
go ahead.
lead skill to assist on a skill made from the intrigue skill group.
Nice.
Yeah.
A quick aside, for the sake of the fact that I am recording this montage test, before you guys start making any rolls, can I have everybody go through, say, your character's name, their class,
Oh.
and subclass?
Yeah.
And we'll go alphabetically, because that's the easiest thing for me to do, and it's listed
What
in
could that
Fantasy
mean?
Grounds in the top left. Arkie.
I am Arkizelavax, a Dragon Knight insurgent tactician, cloaked with a very important secret. I'm a Dragon Knight, and I don't want people to know that until I know they're not going to sell me out to the slaver dwarves.
It's been an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a problem. I have a bow, a shield, a sword, and
A lot of
an abiding
gumption.
hatred for Ajax.
Yeah, that too. All right, thank you. Next up.
Francis Stillheart, Revenant, Null class, Chronokinetic. Only real item of significance that could be used on me are the displacement bracers.
That could have some use here. Yeah, thank you. Next up.
I'm playing Glinthane. He is a Woad Elf Shadow, College of Caustic Alchemy. He uses a small weapon made from a shoulder blade and also a blow dart gun.
Awesome. Thanks. Next.
I'm playing Melgus Fistreach, a Earth Elementalist, with a penchant for opening holes and burying people in them.
And you are a dwarf, yes?
Dwarf, yes, correct.
Awesome. Thanks.
A tanky dwarf.
Yes. Highest stamina in the party.
Hi there, I'm Sigismund Findle, a former minor politician of the city of Gravesford, turned cult victim, turned censor, specifically exorcist, and I have a penchant for talking to people, walking through walls, and hitting them really, really hard.
And you are a polder?
And I am a polder.
Awesome.
Yes.
Next.
I am Tanwin Fneha, revenant conduit of fate and life, follower of Val. She carries with her at all times a twisted metal spike.
Sweet. And last on our list.
Tibril Falkeep is a polder. He's a chef by trade, but he's also a blossoming telepathy talent.
Fantastic. All right, thank you all. With that, I think we can get into our montage test. Okay, so here are the 7 options that I have come up with, mostly from my own brain and some pulling from other bits of media. At some point in this first round, as you try to get through the keep, I'm sure you're going to encounter a locked door. There's going to be a guard station around somewhere that's got guards. It's nighttime, so not a ton of them, but there will be guards sitting around, making it difficult to pass through a specific hallway. Maybe they're playing cards or having a midnight snack. At some point, there will be guards out on patrol, specifically with bloodhounds who may make things more difficult for you. The potential to need to find your way around through the keep. as I don't believe any of you have been inside long enough to know it like the back of your hands. Number 5 on the list, Silent Alarm. There's things like the alarm spell in 5e, tripwires that'll lead to bells and alert people. At various places through the keep, you might encounter things such as that. Since you want to get through unseen, undetected, and have nobody ever realize that you are there, at various times you may need to neutralize signs of your presence. And lastly, and this is maybe the one that I may require you all to do, the second footman that you are attempting to rescue, Mr. William White, has roommates. He does not have a room to himself. So
What,
you will
they're
need to figure out a
roommates?
way to deal with the roommates. And
Dispatch them.
we will see how that goes. And I think because we do have a second half as well, if you guys do particularly well on the first half, let's say you get 5 successes, well, let's say 6 successes. Let's say you get 2/3 of the way to your success limit. We can skip one task in the entry and jump to the back half early. I think I'm okay with that. But it's at this point that I ask, does anyone have a skill that they would like to use first? Or any sort of plan?
I have an idea for the dogs.
Oh, I haven't any idea
Um,
for the dogs. What are you thinking?
I was thinking with the cooking skill, I could create
Yes.
like a really fragrant
Oh,
sausage or something and leave like a trail of crumbs that
nice.
That is
leads away
perfect.
from the patrol route.
That is
Fantastic.
100% something that I would want to see in a montage.
Brilliant.
test.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
You're
Brilliant.
getting ready for the heist, and you're just making
Yeah.
sausage the entire
A
day.
miniature
Like,
montage of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little
That's like one
sausages,
of the
yep.
cutaway scenes that like the audience doesn't know exactly what it's for until
Yes,
they
yes,
see
exactly.
what unfolds.
Exactly.
That's good.
Does anyone have something that they'd like to do to assist this, or are we confident enough in Tibberel's ability to cook to face the dogs? And this isn't even going to be a particularly hard test. I think this would be a medium test. These dogs are well trained, but they are also very much food motivated. So I think it's just a medium test.
I mean, he's
I
a
have the
pro.
utmost faith in our vertically challenged chef.
I mean, I am
Trust
perfectly
well
fine
placed.
with
I could
Tibberel doing this on his own.
I could maybe use conceal object and find a good spot to place the bait.
Definitely a possibility. Yeah, I mean the question I would have for you, Glenfane, is there another one of these options that you feel strongly like, oh, that's absolutely something that Glenfane could do? Because if there is, then I would suggest maybe not assisting on this particular task.
I'm
But
looking at
if
the
not, then
the
absolutely.
locked. I'm looking at the locked door and wondering if that might be a better option for you. You have pick lock, right?
I do not.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
we have other ways to get through doors, though. If I had to guess,
Accurate.
That is
There-
a
Well,
different
yeah.
option. Yeah.
We don't necessarily
options.
need a locked door. We just need a section of wall to like
Yeah,
disappear.
there are a lot of
very
ways
quickly.
around these things. But yeah, Glenfane, if there's not one of these that you're particularly enthused about tackling by yourself, then absolutely you could assist on this first test. How would what would you how would you go about it?
Well, I did also have an idea that maybe we could combine with the dogs. Maybe I could use my animal form complication and give the dogs something to chase.
That
But
sounds
that would be
less like an additive and more like a
Yeah,
separate idea for it. But that
Yeah.
is that is an interesting one.
But yeah, I don't have anything that I'm
Right.
thinking of at the moment.
I would say the only thing with doing that, then you run the risk of getting caught and
And well, separated from the group for one thing, that'd be challenging as
Yeah.
well. But
Yeah.
I think the sausage idea sounds.
No,
it's
yeah,
a solid plan. It's a solid plan.
Through the power of cookery.
All right, so Tibberel,
yeah, I
you
think-
want to tackle it alone?
the power of cookery.
I have faith in my sausage making abilities.
Yeah. For cooking, you're cooking sausages. It's not particularly complicated, but I would say that it's probably a reason test to try and make sure you're getting the right blend, the most aromatic sausage that you can come up with. So I'd say this would be a reason cooking test for you, and it's a medium test. So if you want to go about doing that, you can. In Fantasy Grounds, again, you can just double click on the second of the two boxes next to reason, and that'll roll it with the skill.
All right. Reason works for me. So
First test.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy.
Baby.
Yeah, that is a success. That is a success. So let me go in
So good. Did you make any of those for us for tonight, by the way?
drawing mode, and I'm gonna
As
mark
long as
down
we
a
do not
1.
leave a trail of drool.
That's a little big of a 1. Can I clear that? I'm gonna make it.
That's why we got to eat beforehand. We have the pre-heist meal where we go over all these things. We have a nice sausage and head in there.
All right, so Tiberl, what does it look like when you place these sausages as the party's kind of moving through? What is the reaction that these dogs have? How strong is it?
I think the plan is like I'll throw a couple small crumbs to sort of create a trail, and then have the sausage hidden away in a corner somewhere.
Making it
And-
look like somebody just dropped it on accident. It's smart.
Yep.
Yeah, so
So
as
the
you guys are
dogs
kind of
just-
moving through, you hear the dogs start to bay, and then you hear the guards say, "Oh, we got something! Go after it, boys!" And then the dogs continue to bay, and then sometime later, off in the distance, you hear, "Ah, thinking with with your stomachs again." Beautifully done.
Dog
Beautifully done.
noises.
I love it.
Exactly.
All
Perfect.
right. So that is Tiberol done for round 1. And I guess I could go in the combat tracker and mark that, but I don't really need to. I think we're going to remember who's already gone.
Right.
Yeah.
I have an idea for a locked door. But
No
also,
more
I don't know if
locked
we
door.
also have several people that can deal with that particular
Actually.
problem.
Well, first off, do we have anyone with the pick locks?
That's a good question, honestly.
Anyone speak up?
Nope.
Alrighty
Doesn't
then.
really surprise me.
Yeah. We're doing a heist, but we're not exactly the sneakiest bunch.
Cowardly.
We'll manage it yet. One of these
Sigismund's-
days.
Sigismund, you've got a semblance of a plan for a locked door?
I do, but also I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to hold off in case when we deal with the roommates if we need to talk to them.
Talk.
That
So
and the
I might hold off
alarm.
at the moment. Yeah. If someone else got an idea.
That could be a second round thing.
Yeah.
Malgus, did you have an idea?
I mean, like I said, we could bypass a door, the locked door altogether, and I could just disappear a section of wall, a 5-foot section of wall, and then make the 5-foot section come right back.
Sidestep
will
the
say-
door entirely.
The solutions that I have in mind, or had in mind when I was writing this, for the guard station and the roommates, are probably the two hardest tests. Because those are the only ones that are left that really have active people. Now that the dog patrol is done, those are the only ones left that have active people that will complicate your goal of getting in and out unseen. So you might want to consider prioritizing the difficult ones while you still have people available who can assist, depending on if someone has plans in mind for those.
I'm planning to assist someone who makes an intrigue skill test for either the guard station or
You
the
I
don't
could-
roommates.
say.
Let's see.
Because I have a idea as well.
What's the idea?
What about using the disguise skill to try to impersonate one of the guards as a former human, and then try to learn some of their routes and their patrol and where it is they're going to be to make it easier for us to be able to get in and out unseen.
That's a good test for the guard station.
If you want Francis to disguise himself and into looking like a living human again and being one of the boys, just to learn the paths and see what the rotations look like, that's absolutely something you could do. Because you are dead, it would be a slightly more difficult. It'd probably be a hard test still.
Yeah.
But I believe you probably have plenty of abilities that would work with this for disguise. Either in either of your two two bonus abilities, your agility, your intuition, I think would work for sure.
That's what I was thinking was intuition disguise.
Intuition disguise would absolutely work, and if Arkie is assisting, then that would make
I
a
need
big
to make the
difference for a
assist
hard
test, but
But if that's the route that
and
we want to go, you've got decent odds.
if
on
I
that test.
That's a good way to deal with the guards. Is
if I make the assist test, you will have a double edge.
Which is that
That's
means
good for this. Yeah.
seriously good odds of succeeding without succeeding in general. It's a hard test. So
yeah.
Is that Francis? Is that what you want to bring to this first round?
I'm down.
Kind of like
It's
it.
the best idea I've had so far.
Arkie, then how are you assisting? You're just using your ability to assist, right? Your leadership
I'm
or whatever it
using
is?
reason lead.
Reason lead. Awesome.
Like these are all of the expected like call signs and like military handshakes.
Yeah, awesome.
That the guards would be anticipating. This is how it will feel effortless for them to be diverted elsewhere.
Perfect. Go ahead and make
So
your
it's just
assist
me.
test.
Nice.
And with the ability you're using for this, as long as you roll a tier 2 or higher, you get the double edge. Is that right? Or am I misremembering something?
Yeah, tier 2 or higher will grant the double edge.
Perfect.
If I get a tier 3, then we're like
cooking
overflowing in edge.
Yeah.
All right. Here's the reason roll.
Hey, that's a tier 2, so that'll be a double edge for Francis. It's a good start.
Go.
Here's our intuition roll.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean you didn't need the double edge. That's great. Okay, so Francis,
well-oiled machine.
You find a cloakroom and manage to like steal a guard's cloak and like just worm your way in on a poker game or the equivalent. I don't know of card games in Orden, but you kind of wheedle your way into a game, and after 20 minutes of chatting with people, you basically have learned everything you need to know about guard rotations.
Nice.
And that is another success. And that is the guard station accomplished. And that is 3 of the actions for this round done. There are still 4 actors yet to go. And by all accounts, things are going very well so far.
Yeah.
Before anyone talks,
After we've acted for the round, we can't
GIFs.
assist with any other tests, right?
No, assisting is like your action for a round as
gotcha.
well.
You can do either or, but not both.
Just making sure.
Yep. Anyone have
But
a solid thought on something else for the entrance?
Even though we don't have the locked door, or the pick lock ability, who's got a good agility that I could actually just give them a double edge on?
That definitely works too.
I've got a good agility.
I've got good agility as well.
Moderate.
So that could easily bypass the.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think holding Sigismund in abeyance until we meet the roommates is.
Yes, I think.
I'm percolating on some ideas.
However, if we
this
if
ability
we get to that
doesn't
point where
even
we don't
doesn't
have
even
to use it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Malgus, your ability isn't even going to require an assist. So you can do this in addition to I think you can do it once for the montage test, but yeah, this won't count as you assisting or acting.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to do that on the locked door and have one of the agile members of the party go for it, I think that's a great option.
All right, so I guess just flip a coin between you two high agility people.
Well, I mean, the question is, Glenfane, Tanwin, do either of you have thoughts on
Yeah.
one of the other tests? Because if you do,
Okay.
then
Yeah.
leave it to the other.
As I say, Glenfane, I know that you say your navigation as well. So
Yeah,
that might be a.
That's true.
I could definitely use that to help figure out where to go. I was also just thinking of I could use smoke bombs to lure some people away
Mhm.
somehow.
Well, I'm also looking at neutralize signs of presence and wondering if conceal object might be a good way of like
Yeah.
It's not a bad
uh
idea.
that, or like maybe sneak to cover up the signs of our entry. Like
Yeah, I could do that.
Say also on my end, I've got alertness. So if what's the ability that you had that can affect intrigue skills?
you just get an edge if you use an
Edge.
intrigue skill.
Okay.
Tanwin, what do you, any
I
ideas
make
on
us
your end?
all more effective.
I mean, I don't think I really have too many practical skills. I have a bunch of lore stuff. I do have alertness, empathize, and endurance, but
Well, there are some lore skills that would absolutely work.
potentially,
It depends, of course, but you know,
I'm struggling to think of
I
how to
have
apply them.
I have
yeah, they're a
something
little
that
more
might work
complicated
that
for
I'm
sure.
between two skills on for the roommates.
Uh-huh.
So
Also, I'll
Lu-
point out, because that hero token was spent, everybody has access to climb, endurance, gymnastics,
Correct.
and
right.
That's true, too.
navigate.
True.
Correct.
Yeah.
And if I'm interpreting this correctly, navigation would be like navigating through the keep, and
Right.
like
It's
planning a route,
figuring the
right?
way around, you know, trying to bypass areas where there are more likely to be people, knowing where a second footman is
yeah.
likely to sleep. All that sort of stuff is navigation, and in particular, that would be an intuition test.
Yeah.
So
So I'm good at intuition and reason if either of those
Yeah.
came into play. And we need to do navigation as
I mean, if you could instead of assisting, you could do a
well,
navigation.
this like you said, I've got a free
Ye-
assist on
yes,
this
yeah.
ritualist.
I have an idea for the roommates because we don't want to be seen. I
Mhm.
had a thought that I'm between two skills on. They're in the room. We want to get them out of the room. I have the thought of what if I write a salacious love letter asking them to meet us in the middle of the night somewhere secluded that we pick, and it's like we walk by, I slip it under the door, knock on the door, and we walk away, as a not addressed to anyone in particular, but it's one of those like the roommate picks it up and goes, "Oh, I need to go somewhere right now," a secret admirer sort of thing, and I'm stuck between lore society as of I've heard some good juicy tidbits to write a letter that'll get somebody to meet me in the middle of the night, or interpersonal persuade to do the same.
I have rumors as well.
Rumors
If
was
you want to
Rumors also, I
listen.
have that too.
Rumors, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
But
I've
that's a
got
good thought
I've
for
got society and
Well, because
history
that's going to
as
be one of the.
well.
so I have
That's gonna be our next
expertise
artist.
in
That's gonna be
society.
a hard test. Pretty much whatever you do.
Yeah, so I
those
have
options are
specialist
entertaining.
society.
I like them.
So I have a double edge on tests to recall this skill. So if I'm recalling information to write this letter, I don't know if that would apply.
It's probably not. You're essentially writing an anonymous letter
Yeah.
to someone who you don't know, which would
Yeah.
be less about, I think, that element of society. Your persuade
it's
is
like online
probably more
dating.
likely.
Yeah, I think persuade for me would be
Yeah, I think the
probably where I'm
persuade
going.
is the most reasonable option.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good at those.
What about you're one of the waitresses in the inn and you
Yeah,
caught their eye.
I don't know, for in the keep it would be something like, oh, I've seen you across the banquet hall in the mornings and the
If we were
evenings.
playing
I
in
can
person,
contain myself no longer.
if we were
Something
playing in
like that.
person, we'd stop and play a round of love letter.
Oh god.
Can you get
Signed,
it in the hands
Lord
of the second
S.
footman? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
God, I miss playing in
That'd be cool.
person.
putting a love letter in the
Montage Test
room,
is-
and hopefully the footman kind of has enough perception to go, something's going on. They want someone out of this room. I'll give this to the other person in the room if he's the one that picks it up first.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks. Yeah, I think that's a solid option in a way to tackle the roommates problem.
Yeah.
I think I'll do a conceal object
for
test.
neutralizing signs of presence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Sure.
tidying
That's
up.
a solid choice.
Yeah,
closing
that'd be a
doors
medium
behind
test.
us.
Not a particularly tough thing. You're just making sure that, like, if there's dirt on the floor, you're not leaving tracks. If
Yeah, it's
you're
like
making sure that
the
all the
reverse
doors
of
are the
the
same way. Yeah.
the reverse of the Great Escape thing, where you're putting dirt into your pants.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's a medium test. So I don't know if anyone. It doesn't sound like anyone's gonna want to assist on that. Got to be
I
careful in how
could
often you
use
assist.
my oracular visions and give you an edge.
Well,
What
I've
does
already
that do?
got.
Just say, wait,
Um,
didn't
so-
I thought Arkie could do something with the conceal?
You automatically have an edge
Yeah.
if you're using an.
Oh, okay,
Well,
never mind.
oracular visions would give a second edge, though.
But we can only
Potentially.
use those abilities once during this montage
Right,
test.
right.
So
So you got to be
keep
you got to
that
be
in mind.
careful
You
for the
don't
way
get to
out.
keep hitting them.
Could use
Kenwin
your
is going to be
oracular
dead
vision.
here
Well,
shortly.
I'm
though.
not gonna.
Using
I'm not
your-
gonna be useful.
That's a
anyway.
good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, very true.
Unless, I mean, I can also use that on
the love letter
Sigismund's.
might be better for
Well,
the
yeah.
oracular visions.
Tanwin,
of
I would
like,
also
hey,
say
maybe don't write that.
I would also say if you end up saving that for the second round, that could very easily be you having given someone a vision before the whole
That's true.
Flashbacks.
So
True.
yeah,
Right,
a
right.
good heist
Can do a more
montage has to have
standard assist.
flashbacks.
Mhm.
It would
Wait,
be the moment at the end of
clarification
Ocean
again?
11, the end of Ocean's 11, where we see,
Oh, God,
they
yeah.
made a video of the vaults. Oh, very clever.
Uh-huh.
That's what your oracular visions would be if you used it at the point where you've already left the party. So
Right. Okay.
Just a
That's true.
just a clarification again, between the entrance and the exit,
yeah,
does does our stuff reset?
no. This is all one
Okay.
montage test. So
Okay.
between the two rounds, essentially the entrance is round 1, the exit is round 2. The best way to think about it.
Mhm.
So we've gone through 3. The way it's going to work right now, you guys are not going to you're not going to get to all 7 of the things in round 1 because someone has assisted.
We've got some assists.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
So,
yeah,
what do you guys
if you,
want
to do
Lynn,
next?
if you want to roll with an edge for a medium test, I think that sounds like a great plan.
And what skill would you like?
It sounded like you had conceal objects.
What attribute? Sorry.
I mean, this could be your intuition. Probably makes the most sense to me. Thinking
Okay.
about the things that people look for. So
Oof,
Whew.
oof, oof, oof.
Doing good.
All right, well,
Doing good.
once again, a complete success. Just like on our negotiations, you guys are kicking butt, which makes this
Rolling
very
rocks.
entertaining
Yeah.
and slightly anticlimactic. I'm gonna need you guys in the back half to not be so good. Let's
just
have
have
at
to
least
stick
one,
landed.
maybe 2 failures. Keep this interesting, shall we?
Make it look
All right.
convincing.
3 members of the party yet to act in round 1.
You guys want me to go for the letter?
I'll tackle the navigation, I think,
Okay.
Okay.
but would it make more sense to have the locked door go first? I don't know if
I
that
mean,
matters.
Order
any
doesn't
order.
matter. Order doesn't matter.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
guys can't deal with the roommates until you get there, but
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to handle the roommates first, that's fine. It just it's all narrative. So
God, I'm composing a love letter in my head the entire time we're breaking into this castle.
yeah, I love it.
All right. So the navigation.
Navigation would be an intuition test. You have the navigation skill thanks to Glenfane's ability.
So that's gonna be the +4
Yeah,
option.
and
correct?
it's probably another medium test. Most keeps are the same, and you're a dwarf. You know how things are constructed. So yeah,
You
I'd
can
say a
feel
medium
the
test is fair.
stone.
Yeah, you're tapping into
extension
Feel
of
the
those.
yourself.
stone beneath your feet. You are one.
This feels good. Wait, what's that? That's a crack in the foundation.
Oh,
All right,
nice.
come on, guys.
Ooh.
Come on, guys. Let's keep this interesting, shall we?
Yeah, baby.
We're trying. We're trying.
Oh, boy.
All right, we got Tanwin and we got Sigismund. Honestly, at this point, it's not a bad option for Tanwin if you have something that you want to assist with Sigismund in the writing of the letter. You guys are doing so well that having 5 successes and 0 failures in round 1,
It's pretty solid.
you couldn't ask for
Pretty
much more
good.
than that.
Yeah.
If we get stuck by the locked door, it is truly an RPG.
Well,
On the way
yes.
out, we're like, oh shit, we used
Yes,
everything.
Very true. Very true.
Like, where'd the key go? Damn
I mean,
it.
and that is something I should say, right? If you guys do the roommates now and leave the locked door and the silent alarm, if you're iffy on things that I made for the back half, you can still tackle the locked door and the silent alarm from the first half, because I think those still fit narratively with trying to get out unseen.
Yeah, this is the last of the things we have to deal with
Yeah.
in the first round.
Yeah, I'm good with assisting with the roommate.
How you
letter.
gonna assist me write a
That
good
is
ass dirty
you said you
letter?
You
I
said you had
imagine
society
Tanwin's
already?
in the back just like, no, don't write it like that. Women don't talk like that. Stop.
yeah, that's a very fair point. Very fair point.
So
A woman in the
Power
corner,
of
that helps.
perspective.
Yeah.
I don't need to talk about that. No, but then no, they want to hear that, but no.
My
Wait
lord,
a
think you must woo them.
That's what I'm trying to do. Come on now.
So Tanwin, what skill are you using for this?
Redo
Just
this
to
line. Make it sound like
you have
this. No,
society
too much,
already.
too much.
Sigismund.
I'm gonna use persuade on this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
honestly, Tanwin,
Society,
intuition makes sense for your base attribute, and whatever skill you want to apply to it that you think makes the most sense.
Yeah, I mean,
You said you had
probably
rumors?
society or rumors.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, either one of those works. It just depends.
Yeah,
You know, the outcome
so.
will change.
Ooh.
Are you going to make it look like it's more of a noble woman?
I was gonna tell me which one. Is this an
Or-
affair or is this like someone
Yeah,
that's been
yeah.
like unrequited love from afar?
I mean, the
the skill
affair
you
is pretty
choose.
spicy. Not
It is
gonna
so
lie.
Society.
Yeah, I'm thinking
All right,
society.
all right. Go ahead and make a society intuition test for your assist. Tier 2 or higher will help. Tier 1 hurts.
This is where it hurts.
That's tier 1. So Sigismund has a
Oh, no.
bane on this test.
There we go.
Here,
Okay.
big bad eyebrow daddy.
All right.
Thank you, Tanwin, for
okay.
making this more interesting.
You're
so,
welcome.
Yeah, so
Good.
Sigismund, you can apply your
How
bane,
many
and
here?
and you're doing,
Oh,
I
no.
believe, a presence persuade roll, is that right?
Presence, yeah,
That's perfect.
presence persuade. Oh,
That's
Tanwin
perfect.
as a revenant's been dead too long. Times have
Yep.
changed.
You know what the real problem was? You're an elf.
True, and these are humans.
These are humans.
That's so true.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's
Well,
see
you-
how
you
we
were an
Learning
do.
processes are completely different.
Oof.
Oh no.
No.
I
Oh,
might re-roll
boy.
that one.
You want to
Hey,
use? That's
yeah.
actually yeah. That's
I
a
think
fair point. You
so.
can re-roll that.
Yeah, I
It's
think
pretty
that was
bad.
worth the
All right,
re-roll.
you're down to 5 hero tokens. Yeah, that was awful.
Oh, baby.
Please.
There it
Much
is.
better.
Oh.
There it is.
Oh man.
Okay,
I'm back.
100% worth the hero token for that.
Yes,
Because
the
that is no
conversion.
longer a failure with a consequence. That is just purely a success.
Huzzah.
Okay.
All right, 5
So-
successes, 0 failures. Through
A
What-
letter on the
what
door
line
with
did
a
you scratch out?
soft-
At the last
Ooh.
minute, what line did you
I was
scratch out?
writing,
Yeah.
writing, and then looking like humans don't do that. They don't.
They don't talk like that.
They don't seclude themselves in the woods to do this kind of thing. That's not right. They're gonna
Yeah.
meet. Ooh. Cross it out. Meet me in the chapel. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Yeah.
consecrate some ground.
Oh, God. Oh, perfect. Perfect.
boy.
I love it.
Sigismund's in there writing all the dirtiest
Um,
shit known to man in this campaign.
Yep.
Works too. I can do the
I've
girly
been watching
handwriting
you and
too.
the soldiers from afar
Nice.
for
You
days.
got the handwriting for it,
coming
that's
very
to
true.
wash.
Yeah.
Some
We've
embellishments.
established this.
Ooh, anybody got a
stuff.
little spray of perfume that I can just ever so slightly put on there?
Oh yeah, I take
a
it with me
question.
everywhere.
That's what I think.
I mean, as an undead, Not a bad
Oh,
option to
true.
have perfume.
It's
Yeah.
only
Little
prudent.
spritz, slide
It's
it under the door,
more,
knock, and
it's
then
not
disappear.
perfume as much as it is like a little potpourri bag.
Yeah, I mean that tracks.
Yeah.
This is a
Rub it on
medieval
there good.
society. Perfume
You-
is like slightly
Yeah.
scented water.
Yeah.
You have some
So-
patchouli.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eau de pure.
All right.
I do appreciate
so
the
with that,
scent of lavender.
we are done with round 1.
Same.
As round 2 begins, let's have a little cut in the middle as the roommate rushes out. You guys kind of sneak in, all 7 of you, into the footman's chambers, and find the second footman sitting up in bed, looking a little grumpy, and then on the sight of a dragon knight, taking off his hood. Absolutely lights up in the understanding that he is not going to get caught by Lord Saxton tonight.
You are in
so-
good hands.
Oh, thank the gods. I was getting pretty nervous. I wasn't sure that anybody was going to be able to come and get me. Where'd they manage to find you lot?
We found them.
Providence has funny ways.
Providence indeed. All right. Well, what's the plan? How are we doing this?
Tanwin, would you please?
I will take a good, long, hard stare at him and transform myself into his very form.
He kind of clutches at his chest and says, "By service, thorny prick. This is dark magic of some sort, but I like it."
My lord, it wouldn't do with that kind of language, thank you.
Looks around, trying to see what the back of his head looks like.
You can see some of the stuff you don't normally. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Not balding yet.
Does it do the clothes as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
I presume that you have had him get dressed and then so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
you're not, well, actually, I mean, that's a good question. Would you want
You're
to
getting out
be
tonight.
the dead
Put on
body
pants.
in the pajamas?
I was
Probably.
assuming I'd be in his pajamas,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that makes even more sense then. So you have him change, and are you gonna tell him the fact that you're gonna he's gonna
Wait,
be dead,
well,
just
I
faking
don't-
his death?
I don't think we've actually talked about this as a party, but who is going to do the deed?
We
Of
talked
actually
about a few
killing-
possibilities. We need to make this look like a suicide. So poison, hanging, jumping off a
Well,
balcony.
Since I, getting into character, I do not need to breathe, so hanging, I think,
Oh, that's
would
true.
be the best show. However,
That's true.
I believe somebody would need to break my neck and then string me.
All right, stand still.
Wait. Let's keep
Francis,
talking.
Francis, this is actually an interesting point. You see some members of the party a little wary about having to kill someone, even though they know they're a revenant, they're undead, they'll come back. And somewhere deep down, this doesn't necessarily bother you. And it's not the fact that you're also a revenant.
No, it's a little bit more than that.
Technically, if you're gonna hang yourself, usually the process ends up could break your neck. You don't necessarily have
This is the
Could,
party to make
but-
sure that
So-
that the deed is done.
That's in a
Yes.
professional hanging. In a more suicidal hanging, you don't have the
Yes.
distance.
Yeah.
And we have options.
Yeah.
I assume we would have brought poison if that was the route we were going to do.
Yeah, you could have chosen poison. You've got rope.
We do have rope. Is there a balcony
Man.
in this room?
No, these guys don't even have a window. It's an interior room. It's pretty small. There's
Mr.
enough
White.
room that like there's a little bit of rafters that you can use to get a rope up if that's something you choose to do.
And ooh,
Poison
Is there
obviously
a-
would
Mr.
work.
White, how
we
would
don't want the
you
body
kill
to be
yourself?
discovered immediately either. So it should stay in this
What-
room for
yeah,
whenever the
yeah.
roommate
What
comes
manner
back.
of death would be in character?
He says, "Well,
Yeah.
you know what they say about poison. It's a woman's way out. No offense. Women tend to use poison more than men, or so I've heard.
Hey, you're talking daggers then, and I'll whip out a dagger.
I think
Well,
hanging
I
is
do
more
not
likely."
need-
Okay. Put that away.
A thicker necklace, then.
Hey.
What a line.
So
is
that's the thing is
hanging, is it to be?
Or, well,
breaking of a neck
Well,
and
yes,
then
yes.
putting
a
up there.
staged hanging. That
Yeah.
brings us into round 2. The first of these options is the. Let me go through the options of the things you're going to have to face. You need 4 more successes. So at a minimum, you're going to need to make 4 more tests that all succeed. Otherwise, you'll end up with a partial success. In a partial success, in all likelihood, you're still going to get the spy out, but Tanwin's going to have some interesting complications, which will be fun if that ends up happening. But we have the decoy body. This one should be fairly obvious. What are you doing? How are you doing it? Are you doing it successfully? Is it convincing? So on and so forth. I'm going to skip to number 3, hiding the spy's identity. You don't want him to be recognized and the timeline getting muddled around his death. So that is something you will need to face. Number 2, calming him. This is going to be an intense, terrifying situation for a footman to go through. He's
about to
very
watch
likely
himself
gonna
die.
be pooping his pants and trying not to freak out. And at some point, things are going to get too much, and somebody's going to need to calm him down.
We can knock him
Number
out
4.
and carry him.
For a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's one option, one way to handle calming the spy. Just knock him out. Number 4, hiding in plain sight. At some point, you can enter into like the Great Hall, and a group of nobles enters, and you have to figure out some way to not either get seen or recognized or noticed in that situation. A lot of ways you could handle something like that. Number 5, dealing with the outer wall. How are you getting back out? Getting in was easy, but now you've got a guy who doesn't do this sort of thing for a living. How are you getting him past the wall? Number 6.
I have an idea for that.
There is a guard who is asleep in a hallway guarding something. What it is, you don't know, but you come across him at some point. And lastly, number 7, this one is outside the keep. Where do you put the spy to make sure that he is not discovered?
Okay.
And again,
There's
if
some
there's one
options
of those
there.
that you're really not fond of, you really only need to do a few of them, but if failures start stacking up, things change a little bit. Stashing the spy is the one that I'm least happy with, so if you want to replace that with the locked door or the silent alarm, you're more than welcome to. And again,
What
you can bring
are-
in your own options if you like something you have in mind better.
I
What
feel
are
like
the
we should
fixed points of the exit?
The
the
fixed
decoy
points,
body.
the decoy body, and the outer wall, I would say, are the fixed points. Calming the spy, I like, and I will encourage you to do because I think it's fun.
I have an idea for the outer wall.
I have an idea for calming the spy.
For the outer wall, I have wings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
and I have the perk Friend Catapult.
Uh-huh.
So very simply, I ferry people and then yeet you over the wall.
I'm gonna guess that this is the point where calming the spy comes in too.
Yeah, calm him on the other side of the wall.
It's okay. It's okay. Tuck and roll. Tuck and roll. It's all right.
That's a great way to handle 2 of those tasks back to back. Ryan, what do you want to take part in? The decoy body, I presume, but I don't know necessarily how you
Presumably,
want to handle
yes.
that.
No, he done that.
I don't know what
earlier today
more
or
I
something.
need
Ken's
to do.
discovered. At one point. He just woke
Let's
up
see. I
when
mean,
Ken's came barreling through.
this could be another opportunity for an intuition test.
No.
It could be. I don't know what skills you've got, so that doesn't help necessarily.
I've got endurance, empathize, alertness, criminal underworld, culture, history, magic, religion,
Faking a
rumors,
death?
society.
Criminal underworld?
Criminal
Potentially. Yeah, maybe.
Underworlds, I would allow that. Yeah. Making sure that the scene is staged properly. You were also a conduit, so there's a good chance that you encountered people who had committed suicide, as awful as that is.
That's probably true,
especially
especially in the
that
city.
Coupled, I would allow you to make like a skilled intuition test for that. Absolutely.
Okay, relax.
And this is probably a medium test because setting the scene. The hard part is done. You are the body.
About an hour. Oh, and
All right.
not
I'll
too late, I don't think.
I'll do criminal underworld intuition.
Sweet.
Here we go.
Medium test, that is a
Okay.
success with a consequence. Would you like to accept the consequence, or would you like to try and reroll?
I can't believe we've done this.
I mean,
But
I'll take it.
simple.
Okay.
I feel like.
The consequence is
Still
going to
success.
occur
Yeah.
later.
I don't have to worry about it.
Yes, you do.
That's
You
okay.
might.
It is you that
That's
has
true.
to worry about it.
future
It's
us
the secret.
problems.
Yeah, future me. Yep. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
All right. That is the decoy body taken care of.
So
You guys
Francis
only need
snaps
3
your
more
neck and we string
successes,
you up.
and if you get the next one complete without getting a failure, I'm going to recommend you go straight into calming the spy and the outer wall.
Yeah. Does anybody have any idea for any of the other ones?
Is there a way we can handle the dozing guard?
I was actually thinking about that
curious
one. I
about
was
that
thinking
one.
of using sneak to get up on the dozing guard and actually just knock him out the rest of the way so that he's just sleeping on the job.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Francis thought of like bringing the fantasy equivalent of chloroform to make sure that he stays unconscious.
That'd be cool.
I don't know what
Or
the fantasy
blackjack
equivalent of
hit
that is.
really
but-
hard
I
over
feel
the
like
top of the head.
Glenfane could supply you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Caustic
probably
alchemy,
have.
100%.
Mr. Caustic Alchemy,
100%.
yeah.
He seems like he's guarding something. I'd be interested to see what he's guarding.
Well, that would leave a trace.
Well, if he just fell asleep on the job, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Francis, if you want to do that, that's probably
Actually,
another medium test.
That further takes away from what we're actually doing here. If there's another thing that happened that night,
A suicide and a
like,
robbery on the same night.
yeah, it kind of muddles what they think is happening, depending on what it is.
Perhaps.
I worry that might draw more attention to
Also
this than
fair.
we want. Because the hope at the end of this is the suicide is treated as just
The
that was
pressure got
bad.
to him.
Yeah, and nobody suspects anything else.
We could take a peek after we deal with the dozing guard.
I love your curiosity.
So, Francis, you want to tackle metaphorically tackle the dozing guard?
Physically, I think.
Whoa.
Does someone want to assist that? Because you obviously have, you don't have a whole lot of ways to go. Is there a way that someone would assist that? I should ask.
I mean, I do have alchemy. I could.
Yeah. That would
Literally give
100%.
him chloroform.
Literally give him chloroform. Yeah. Yeah, that would work. Probably be a reason
only other
alchemy
idea-
test.
Yeah, the only other thing I was thinking of was like using a smoke bomb to distract people away from wherever we're
I
trying
think
to.
If
the
you
guy.
end up
Smoke
getting
bomb.
a failure, that could be useful. So, if you act now, that removes
Yeah.
that possibility later. But at the
I mean,
moment,
I
you
would
guys are
think-
kicking butt.
A smoke bomb might draw more attention, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think smoke bomb is a plan.
Fallback.
A.
Well, I would leave the group, and after I
Like,
would
throw
use
it
the smoke bomb,
somewhere
I would-
else, like a fire started somewhere or
Is-
something.
I mean, I can.
Yeah, I would
do it.
just and then leave by myself.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
assist on the alchemy too, as well, because
Yeah,
I
that's
actually
true.
have alchemy as a skill. So
And you've got a better reason too, I would imagine.
Yeah, you have probably have
yeah, I
a
have a
better
reason
reason
to.
than that.
Yeah.
Unless you want to help
Oh.
with the outer wall, because you're good at that.
Yeah.
If you want to just open a hole instead of
Yeah,
me
that
tossing
is
people.
true. You could entirely
I mean,
negate a test by
yeah.
just opening a hole in the wall. Can you close a hole in the wall?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can
yep.
open and close.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, if that's
So-
what you wanted to do, that does take away from Arkie's yeeting people over. But if that's a
I
sacrifice
mean, I
Arkie's
also
willing to make.
if you're doing the yeeting thing over, I can also it's I would assume that would be something that would take less than a minute. I could also give you the double edge on that.
I feel like our spy would appreciate not being hurtled through the air.
You
You
probably
are
wouldn't have to
correct.
calm him down.
You are correct.
I mean, then
The-
you could
the calming
always
him down.
use the climb skill we all now have access
Also
I
to.
can just see the wide shot from where the guards are sitting playing their card game. In the background, you just see a person getting thrown over the wall yelling, and they look up like, "What the fuck was that?"
I mean,
Yeah,
I like
like-
this for like the scene plays out partway to the spy freeze frame over the wall, and then Malgus just says, "Or I
On
could
second thought.
Yeah.
Or I could just put a hole in the wall, and they're like, "Yeah, no, it's better
Yeah.
to."
Yeah,
just-
yeah, absolutely.
Or
that
or
that
going
is-
on what Blake was saying. It was like everyone starts climbing, and then I just open the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
At the...
Step
Well,
through
you
the
guys
other
are halfway
side,
up the
close
wall.
it on the other. Yeah.
I like that. I like just opening the outer wall
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
that-
closing it behind us.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very slick.
So
Yeah, I'll use my alchemy then now
okay.
to help with the guard.
Yeah, yeah. So go ahead and make your reason alchemy test as an assist.
Okay.
Tier 2 or higher, and he'll get a that's
Oh.
a tier 1. I mean, so you have a choice. You could use another hero token, or you could accept giving him a bane on this.
What do y'all?
How
think?
many tokens
You
do we
got
have
5
left
left.
right
You've
now?
only used 2.
We got-
5.
I'd say go for it. Use a token.
Let's try and
Keep
make
the
this
say go
gravy
for
train
it.
a flowing.
so clean. Okay. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Oh
all right.
yeah.
So
Good
that's
conversion.
double edge.
So,
That's double edge for Francis
It's so
on this.
Francis.
And Francis, you said you were using sneak.
Yep.
And that would be agility, good sir.
Agility, sneak, get in, do it, get out.
God damn.
Who needs a double edge? Come
We're
on, guys.
crushing it.
Oh, all
Crushing
right,
it.
all right. Well, there's success number 7, and the dozing guard taken care of.
Francis has to remind himself not to snap this
Man.
one's neck as well.
Well, he's just
Right,
putting
don't
a
go all the
cloth
way,
over
don't
his
go all the way,
face.
don't go all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I can handle the outer wall.
What's behind the door he was guarding?
Get out.
The door's locked.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
the lock.
hey, there it is. Could I use sabotage to instead of pick lock?
I mean,
get past the door?
that will make the door not work.
Mm,
That's someone
good
else's
point.
problem. though.
So pick
And-
lock is a great opportunity to not be noticed. Sabotage will be
This
noticed.
is true. This is true.
What are
Would
they
you
gonna do,
like me
dust
to
for
just walk
fingerprints?
through the wall?
Oh, that is
Yeah.
actually
Sigismund,
Again.
do you want that to be your action for this?
That's the
Oh.
thing is, if it takes
we
my
got-
action for the test, I can't help with calming the spy, and I have
I-
good
I ha-
persuasion and empathize.
I have
We
a
need to get.
I
how many
could help with that.
think.
I'm gonna say this
Okay.
door we
Telepathic
are
stuff.
paused in this door is not gonna help with the task because it's not getting you further towards your goal. This is just a normal
Also
lock
fair.
door.
So
But
curious,
it's still in the
though.
montage test. So this is like, are we getting to a point where Sigismund is gonna record scratch and go to the side and everyone's
That
like,
wasn't
oh, no.
part of the plan.
Yeah.
On the way out, we
What do you
see a
think,
locked
Walker?
door, and then it's like, I mean, we're here for the spy. But what's
Exactly.
behind the
Exactly.
door?
I do really love the imagery of that,
Yeah,
though. The
but-
montage is going.
It's
you hear the
entertaining.
tense
It's going
music going. Then you
fantastic.
The
hear
music
records,
stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, the music stops. The record scratches. You see that kind of half-step Sigismund looking at the direction of the locked door, like,
So
Arkie
Sigismund,
would
do you
be
want to
disappointed.
waste? Well,
I really
waste
want
is
you to do
maybe waste is maybe a strong word.
Well,
do you want to just walk
We
through
don't
the
know
door
what
and see
reward is
happens?
behind the door.
How many other
We're-
players do we have?
We're
That's a
here
good question.
trying
Who has
to
not
get
gone?
information. We need 2 more successes. That's true.
You need 2 more
I
haven't
successes. You've got 1. As long as Malgus doesn't do something foolish and waste his action, you've got 1 guaranteed.
Okay.
So who
So-
has not gone?
1, 2.
I have
haven't
not.
gone.
I could
We've
try
got
calming
3.
the spy.
Yeah, so we've got
You could-
Tibberel, we've got Arkie, and we've got
We have
Sigismund.
space.
So you've got a little bit of room, a little bit of wiggle
Yeah.
room.
Up to you,
Sigismund?
Timberl. Do you think you could try to do one of the other tasks if I step through this door?
Sigismund, I'm going to make
Um,
you do whatever you're doing first. For obvious
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah, it's
I'm
We
gonna
just
step
tackled the
through.
guard.
Are
You're
we even
stepping through?
asking?
Yeah.
I'm going to
You're
step
stepping
through the door.
Okay. Okay. Just for fun, I'd like you to make a reason test as you search the place.
Reason. Great. Reason search. I have that skill.
If you got search, you can add it. Yeah.
Cool, because otherwise that's a -1. Still not fantastic,
Ooh,
but
not great. Not great. That's tier 1, as a matter of fact. You look around.
Wait, is that
unfortunately-
search?
That is search.
What's
yeah.
that?
Oh, it's an
that's
an
intrigue
intrigue
skill.
skill.
You get an edge.
Yes.
That puts you to a tier
So-
2.
That bumps it up.
Tier 2.
Okay. This was a medium test, so that is no longer a
Oh,
failure.
no,
That's a success with a consequence. Sigismund. Consequence could be entertaining. Okay. You find something. This could be entertaining. I'm gonna message you, Sigismund, what you find.
So I could also leave whatever it is
You're
and
not
try
gonna want
not to. And I figured that was the case.
I'm making
That's
this
why there's the
hard.
complication.
The complication is only if you take it, I will say.
I assumed. You gave us a locked door in a heist. I had to check the locked door.
I like how this is the party you're
Ooh.
playing with, and you're
Yes.
saying the words "if
Interesting.
you take it."
I don't know
mean,
what
this
that-
is we play a lot of D&D together, but this is a different kind of
Takers can't be
campaign. You never know.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
never know.
I guess that's fair, but
So-
I mean,
so
you put a
Sigismund?
complication in front of this party, and we're just like, yeah, and
Mhm.
give
We eat it up.
Do I know
Sigismund?
what that is?
I mean, would you put it on? It's very clearly magical.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Boy.
Do
We
it.
do.
I
we
mean,
also have we have the quantum satchel.
wait.
You do have the quantum satchel.
Hell, I speak that language.
Oh, absolutely. You know what this is then.
Yeah.
You speak on Jolly. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So I would look at
There's
this and
runes
go,
on this sucker. You know what it says.
would I know that it would work immediately?
Yeah.
I'm putting it on.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Sigismund takes the object and steps back out, and all of you now see him wearing a steel helm with 2 curved ebony horns and a crackling plume of fire floating between them.
I mean, that's a sick look.
It's a sick look.
That might draw more attention than we were hoping for.
Yeah,
I don't know about that, but
it's sick as
I
hell.
feel like the fact that you're a polder just makes this even better.
Yeah, the horns are at hip height.
Uh-huh.
Beware.
alrighty.
Great.
God.
And you can just go shadow mode if people start looking too close.
Exactly. I'll be fine now that I have this.
Accurate.
Okay.
All right. Well, now
Well,
that
curiosity
detour
has been
is
satisfied.
aside, who would like to try for the penultimate task, knowing that Malgus will handle the ultimate task?
Okay, I had an idea for calming the spy.
Sure, hit it.
I was, if you'll allow it, I was thinking I could use my awe ability, which when I target it on an ally, can remove a status effect, like frightened. So I
Yeah,
was
absolutely
thinking
you can
we
use
could use
awe.
that to sort of quell any
Man,
rising
you
panic.
guys are just
That's so
bypassing the
cool.
last 2 tests with abilities, and it's perfect and
We
fantastic.
got this.
Yeah.
That does cost me 3 clarity, so I
oh,
will
you
go
don't-
strained.
You don't
But-
have. Oh, you can go strained. Yep.
He's
Talents.
Yeah.
Talents.
He's down.
Yeah.
Takes
Yeah.
a
Well, I-
chunk of his vitality.
Mm-hmm.
Negative 3 clarity, but
Well,
Yeah,
you
we
have
have
one. You
one
have
victory.
one.
We have
You have one
victory.
victory. You have one victory. So you basically have 1 clarity outside of combat
Yeah.
right now.
Well,
so
outside of combat
So I
rules
will go
allow
down to
you to
negative
use
2
things without
clarity.
resources. You can just only do it
Cor-
once
correct,
per
correct.
certain thing.
Oh, that's
and
right.
actually this ability doesn't have a strained.
no.
note on
And
it that I can see.
and Francis
rules
is right
rules
too.
of written outside of combat, you should be good to use it either way.
Yeah. Let me just double check.
At least
that.
once per certain period, if I remember correctly.
Whenever you use an ability or effect outside of combat that costs clarity, you can't use that same ability or effect outside of combat until you gain a victory. So you don't even go strained.
Yep.
You can just do it once,
Oh,
and
cool.
the next time you gain a victory, you get the ability to use it again. Yeah. Thank you,
Nice.
Francis, for bringing
Alright.
that up.
Very good.
So you know,
yeah,
I'll just
and
reach
that
out
works.
into his mind and soothe him.
Good job, guys.
This is
Okay,
a
and
hell of a
Malgus,
montage.
you guys, yeah, I mean, you did burn through 3 hero tokens, so
We
it's
did.
that's not nothing.
Yep.
But Malgus does the last thing, busts through the wall, and as soon as everybody's through, seals it up again. And
Sorry, how ornate is the hole that Malgus opens up in the wall?
who's the largest member of the party physically? Arkie?
Probably
I
Arkie.
think it's me. Yeah, even with my
it's
my
a
wings out.
classic cartoony Dragon Knight shaped hole that everyone then has to align to.
Earl just walks right through.
Yes, yes. Our 2 polders walk right through. All right. Well, I guess that's the end of our montage test. You guys smoked it. What is it? What is with you guys rolling ridiculously well outside of combat and rolling averagely well inside of
You're
combat?
That's
not-
the balance. We
we
don't roll
say
well
that.
in combat.
We
Yeah,
thrive.
yeah.
We're
in RP.
incentivized to put more resources into these, so we avoid other combat.
that's
This is-
true.
you're
That's
not
true. We have
wrong.
avoided combat expertly in a lot of cases. We do have a couple of consequences to deal with, though, which is going to be interesting. I need to look at how Tanwin's Revenant thing works and how your cult victim works, because that combination is interesting.
It's spicy.
It's
Oh,
spicy.
back.
It's a spicy
So-
meatball.
For everybody else, I found a hell charger hell.
Yeah.
It does some fun
Alright.
things. A
Can't
hell
suffocate.
charger
You need
hell.
to eat or drink to stay alive.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if I were a jerk, I would say that they'd cremate the body, but that's not what they're doing. That would be a hell of a
That
complication.
would be
and make you lose
highly
your character.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
We established last time that was not the culture.
Not likely. Not likely. No. You can continue. So yeah, this is the interesting part.
12 hours.
The consequence is you're conscious for everything that they do.
Oh lord.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
that's what it says. You can continue to observe your surroundings, but you can't speak, take actions, maneuver,
Yeah.
or triggered actions,
Well,
or move, and
I
you fall
guess
prone,
that's
etc.
the worst thing to happen.
Normally, the rules say you can, meaning that you could choose to be
Oh.
unconscious for this.
Mm,
You're about to
But
be
I
autopsied.
am choosing to make that not the case.
sure.
I
They,
mean, medieval
I like
autopsy.
yeah, I mean,
I
it's-
dig it. Tonwin probably
you-
doesn't,
you-
but I dig it.
No. You get kind of it's uncomfortable, and there's a few moments where you think that the jig is going to be up. They're totally going to figure out. You know, they're messing around. They're poking around. The mask
Stepping away
of
again.
many is working really well. Like they can open the pajamas and check to make sure there's no stab wounds, and all that's working just fine. But you're sure any second now somebody's going to go and reach through his hair and feel a hat, which is the only downside.
Yeah.
Or reach for the face and feel the mask or whatever it is, right?
Right.
It never quite comes to it, but it's moment of panic after moment of panic, and you were hoping that they just put you in a room until the burial can occur. Or did you want to get buried? Would it be better for them to bury you?
We
it's
were
better
talking
if-
about just digging her back up when we were done if
Yeah.
we had to.
Yeah.
If she's
Well,
buried,
as a
then
cult
they
victim, you don't need to
assume
worry about that.
gone.
Yeah, she
Right.
can
Yeah.
walk right
It
through
doesn't.
The,
I mean,
the consequence
I didn't have
is
a
the consequence is
really.
they are not going to be burying you before you become alive, conscious
Okay.
again. So the body's going to have gone
Just be
missing.
kept somewhere.
So there's 2 mysteries that are left, and that's the consequences from this montage test. The body goes
Finding
missing,
Tanwin.
and the helm is gone from this locked room. So there is still a mystery left, but there are no other signs that anybody was in this place, and there are nothing to tie back to you guys. And at the moment, they believe, because they examined a dead body, they believe that somebody stole a corpse, and not that
Yeah.
this
For
corpse
some
got up and
reason.
walked out. So
I mean,
they
there is a necromancer in the area.
correct. Well, sort of.
Yo.
Well, they're pretty far, weren't they?
You are, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
they
pretty
are
far away, but as far as
That-
misdirection goes,
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's-
saying.
You got some possibilities there. But
So some discord.
all that being said, we are through the montage test. And honestly, I think that went pretty well. I'm going to be dissecting this in a video here shortly. For those of you who've been watching along at home, we're going to cut to the dissection, which will happen after the rest of the game because these guys take priority. So we'll see you in just a second. Man, that was an absolute blast to run. I think my players all had a good time with it. They rolled incredibly well. We discussed that after the fact, getting 9 victories without any failures. In hindsight, I probably could have made some of the tests a little more difficult, but the times that they failed, they used a hero token judiciously, and their rerolls all took things from a tier 1 to a tier 3. A couple of complications that came up were not significant in the sense that there are major story implications. It's obvious that Lord Saxton is going to know that somebody's been in his pantry, so to speak, and the dead body disappeared. How did that work? There's a lot of interesting ramifications of what happened. Overall, I'm really pleased with how things went. I don't think I'd change much of anything in the setup itself. Once again, in the running of it, for a hard montage test, maybe making a few more of the tests hard difficulty. But honestly, the players came up with such good ideas. I mean, Tibberel making the sausage to get the dogs out of the way. That was just so good. And I can't picture making that a hard test. So I'm not particularly disappointed. And again, their rolls were very good almost throughout, which immediately turned around in the rest of the session as they kind of started doing the next of the tasks, looking for the missing villagers. They kept getting tier 1 after tier 1 after tier 1, leading to them finding the villagers in a cave with a fossil cryptic and basically getting ambushed. So that'll be our next session, which will be a week from today as of the day this is going out on YouTube. So I hope you all enjoyed this. There's a possibility, if you all liked this significantly enough, that I may be able to convince my players to let me record some more bits and pieces here and there of our campaign. Maybe the next time we do a negotiation, that could be something that we could do. I don't know. I'll have to see, of course, with their permission. I will only proceed if they're all comfortable with it. But again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you found it illustrative and useful for your own Draw Steel games. I don't know when my next video is going to be or what the subject is going to be of my next video, but in the meantime, keep rolling.